Hello, thanks for stopping by. My name is Tyler, and today we're going to do a quick live stream just talking about whatever comes in, and then I'll also be studying for my CKA, so we're going to do some labs and kind of whatever else we feel like doing. So, yeah, I'm actually going to get this rolling on my socials real quick. One thing I actually did want to talk about was my latest video. So if you guys didn't know, my latest video was the one where I was coloring on a whiteboard. I thought it was super fun to make. Did horribly, but it was really, really fun to make. Like, out of all the videos I've made, I thought that one had the coolest end result, but I had like poor audio delivery in it. It's like I really wasn't impressed with my audio setup because it did run into audio issues, and my what am I trying to say? Just like my mic in general. So like the technical side and just like my delivery of certain audio lines I wasn't a huge fan of, but that's okay. It was like a test run, so there'll probably be more of those. They are super time consuming to make, but it was fun, and I think the end result's cool, and it's something that I could put on like TikTok easily. I do have a TikTok channel associated with this page as well. I think I have like one follower on it because I haven't posted yet, but we might post a little bit more. Define my just copy this link. Sorry, I'm not talking. I'm getting my stuff posted here. We'll get it rolling here shortly. All right. Sweet. All right. So let's get it rolling. I wonder if I can turn the brightness up. Jeez, on this monitor. Let's see. It's fine. I should have a menu. Oh yeah, brightness is at it's at 27%. So we're gonna bump that way up because we do not want a dark monitor. Okay, so much better. All right, so let's go ahead and fire up KodeKloud because that's what I use to study for the CKS, and we'll do some labs and stuff. Let me change my display settings. Very nice. All right. getting all my stuff situated here. Put this here. And we'll put this here. Today was the last day of my work week. I took Thursday and Friday off, and then I'm also off all of next week. I am headed up to Wisconsin, so don't really have a ton going on tonight. I do need in my AWS project, I did just get the 30-day notice for some certificates for some TLS certs that I had. So I have to renew those, but the issue is they're kind of baked into the images I use for my project, so I actually have to launch my full project and then sign into all 9 of my, I think it's 9. I think 9 of my servers use Certbot for certificates, so that's going to be quite the job. If you're here, let me know how my audio sounds. I hope it sounds good. Probably doesn't though. I am using a webcam after all to record, so. But let's go ahead and start with some stuff. I really haven't planned what I'm gonna do. I could do mock exams, challenges, lots of options. Oh, hey, Garlic Jeans, you were in the last stream. I'm trying to think of things that I was really, really bad at. I have been through these labs a copious amount of times, and I've done the practice tests a good few times as well. So I'm pretty. I think I'm pretty ready for the exam. The only issue being, of course, I don't know. What if I'm not? So we'll see. Customization. Anyone? All right, I'm just checking my stream settings. I'm still kind of learning how to actually make half decent content. The videos of me talking are pretty rock solid, but especially the one I made yesterday was the audio wasn't great, and then the lighting on that whiteboard, this one, was also not super great either, but that's all right. So what are we thinking? If you see anything do you think is interesting that you want me to run through, by all means, I'm happy to do it. But I've done all of these. RBAC, pretty good with RBAC. Keyword security, I did that one yesterday. Might come back to the dashboard. It's not on the exam, so I really don't. I'm not super worried about it. Same thing with cluster upgrade. That was also in the Kubernetes administrator, so pretty familiar with those. Ingress, I am all good with Ingress. Let's see. SSH hardening and sudo. That's more Linux. That's it's actually not really Kubernetes, but well, okay, it's kind of part of it, but UFW firewall, SecOm. I feel like we should just do a mock exam. We'll do a mock exam because these give a nice variety to things, so we'll fire up one of these. This one has, I think it's this one that has a broken question where it doesn't, the cluster isn't set up right to deal with the, I think it's an admission controller that breaks it. So if you set the API server to use this admission controller, it doesn't work. And I've gone through and followed it exactly as instructed, and it still did not. But and for those of you here, my name is Tyler. I am 20 years old. I am currently a cloud operations engineer at a smallish software company. I did not go to college and just kind of making my way, doing certifications, having a good time. All right, Justin asks, if you were to recommend an aspiring cloud/DevOps engineer to learn networking, what resource would you recommend to them? So I always recommend the certification paths just because you get something at the end and it does a really good job at directing your knowledge. So I would start with, if you're like brand new, like you don't know what a switch is, you don't know, you've never heard of like routing protocols, I would highly recommend starting with the Network Plus. That was my first certification. And while it's very shallow, it does a really good job at explaining or exposing you to a ton of different concepts. After that, I would recommend doing the CCNA because it is a little bit more in depth. Still nothing like super insane, but it digs a little bit deeper. And then after the CCNA, I would say it's pretty safe to move on from networking if that's not your main focus. Let's see what this question asks. All right, this one says, a pod has been created in the Omni namespace. However, there are a couple issues with it. What am I looking at? No. The pod has been created with more permissions than it needs. It allows read access in the directory, user share, Nginx, that one, causing an internal site to be accessed publicly. To check this, you can click on the URL and add internal to the end of the URL. Use the below recommendations to fix this. So first, let's actually click on the site. And then we need to add internal to the end of it. It should load something up. I've actually never loaded that site. Okay, so that, oh, very nice. So that page should be restricted. So we need to use the AppArmor profile created at Etsy AppArmorD/frontend to restrict the internal site. And then it also says there are several service accounts created in the Omni namespace. Apply the principle of least privilege and use the service account with the minimum privileges, excluding the default service account. Once the pod is recreated with the correct service account, delete the other unused service accounts in the Omni namespace, excluding the default service account. All right, cool. So let's get it rolling. So first thing we need to do is set up this AppArmor profile. So to do that, we are going to first see if the profile is already enabled. So we're going to do, and we're just going to look for front end. Okay, so no results came back, so we're all good there. So now what we can do is first, I want to get the name of this profile because in our manifest file, oh, that's not the one. In our manifest file, we'll be referencing the actual name of the profile, not just the file path. So I don't know why I keep messing up commands. Cat Etsy AppArmor.d/frontend. All right, it'll be right at the top here. So profile front-end restricted. So chat, please remember that because I might forget. All right, so we have our profile. So the next step is we want to actually enable that profile. So with this, we can do AppArmor parser, and then we give it the file path, AppArmor.d, front end. And to verify that that got turned on, we can actually do AppArmor status and look for front end, and we can see our restricted front end policy is enabled. So very good. All right, David says, I want a remote job. Tech seems like a sure route. What do you think of digital marketing? I really haven't looked into marketing. I don't know if I have a ton of good suggestions. I guess our marketing team is mostly remote. They do come into the office from time to time. So as far as remote work, I don't doubt that it can be a good remote job. That's just going to be learning a lot of things like SEO and how to get results and probably a little bit of UX, UI design to make sure when you're creating marketing material, it is intuitive and it makes sense. And of course, looks nice. So that's enabled. So next step, we need to change this pod. So what I like to do is get the YAML manifest from the pod. Namespace Omni pod front end site YAML. And we're going to send this to 1.yaml so we can make changes. Now we can go nano 1.yaml. If I'm talking too quietly, let me know, because my webcam is like kind of like up here. All right, cool. So starting off with things we don't need. We don't need a timestamp. We don't need these or these. We don't need the status section down here. So we can just get rid of all of that. So in order to enable our AppArmor profile, we're just going to go to the Kubernetes docs. And we're going to search for AppArmor somewhere. AppArmor. All right. And then we are going to change the version to 1.29 because there was a change to AppArmor between 1.29 and 1.30. So make sure you're using the correct version. And we're going to grab our annotation here, because in this version it is written as a annotation and not like an actual part of the spec of the pod. So let's go here. And then it goes under labels, so go paste. All right, I'm going to go over here, maybe. All right, and that little hello is going to reference our pod name, which our pod name is Nginx. And then this is actually going to reference our profile name. Chat, do you remember what our profile name was? It was restricted Nginx, if I'm not mistaken. So that's good. Up next, we need to change the service account. So we can go get namespace on the service account. All right, so get role bindings dash namespace service account. Oh, sweet. Okay, so right off the bat, FE has permissions and frontend has permissions. Doesn't really matter what these permissions are because frontend default does not have permissions. And the reason that's important is if you create a service account that's not the default one, and you don't give it permissions, by default it will have no permissions. So frontend default is going to be the service account we want to use. So let's go back into here and change front-end default. Front-end default. What do y'all think my next certification should be? Still trying to decide. It's going to be something in security, but I'm not sure exactly what. Omni. Uh-oh. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Weird. I wonder if this is just in the wrong place. Under metadata. Okay, so it's not labels, it's just under metadata. Oops. All right, so this should work now. I've never gotten that warning while doing this practice test before. Let's see if it works. Oh, nice. What was our name again? Restricted dash front end. I had to have spelled something wrong. Restricted. Oh, I said restricted Nginx. Cool. Cool. All right, so this should be restricted now. Cool. All right, so that worked. Very nice. Up next. We need to delete some stuff. We're deleting the FE. And we're deleting front. All right, that should be good to go. I'm gonna check this one more time. Front end default, good. Nice, that should be correct. I feel like I should draw something else on my whiteboard. Here. We're gonna draw live. Is that coming up? Can you even see that? I don't think when it's minimized you can really see it. I have to say, even though I get no like viewers on here, I love doing lectures. I think they're super fun. All right. Okay. Live. Nice. All right. Back on track. What are we doing? A pod has been created in the Orion namespace. It uses secrets as environment variables. Extract the decoded secret for the container password and place it under root cks secrets container password. You're not done. Instead of using secrets as environment variables, mount the secret as a read-only volume at path. That path that can then be used by the application inside. So for this one, we're going to again refer to our docs. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Yeah, it should be fine. Dash namespace, Orion. What is the secret name? All right. I'm going to send this into base 64, I think. HD. No, we can actually just do this too. And base 64 dash D code. I believe that stands for D code, but I know dash D works. There's our password. Then we need to send it to the path. So we do cd cks. Looks like it doesn't exist, so we're going to do enter secrets. All right. All right. And then we're going to do this, and we're going to send it to this path right here. We can go like this. So now we can do cat path, and it should spit it back. Cool. So step 1 is done. Very nice. Up next, we need to make it so it doesn't use it as an environment variable. So in order to do that, we need to get pods namespace run. Show YAML 2.YAML now 2. Same thing as before. We're going to delete some stuff we don't need. And then make some changes. All right, so now we can go to volume. Not really what we wanted. If you guys are studying for your Kubernetes certs, when you're looking for manifest files, use the kind field as your search thing. It helps immensely. So I don't know why. It always takes me a minute to find this page, but I know it's in here. Volume. Oh, okay, there it is. We need. I know it's labeled as like an optional, so like optional. There. This is what we want. Cool. So here's a volume mount. And we can go here. We can find our volume mount section. There. We don't. We can just name it secret. Doesn't really matter what we name it. This does matter there. We want it to be mounted at this. Here. That, and we want it to be read-only, so it's set to read-only. And 2 volumes. Sorry, I'm not talking much, but There's nobody on here, so don't see much of the point. Save secrets, name. All right. So this should be good. We actually don't want it to be optional, so delete that. Volume out. Why is it complaining? Oh, that's why. Yes. All right. Really? Still? Kind of. Oh, okay. You just have to do one of these and do one of those. Brian, now we check our work. Good. All right, question should be good. On to number 3. Pod number 3. Not pod, question. I'm tired today. Jeez. I might crank through this and then just kind of sit around and see if anyone has questions right then. But I don't know, dude. We're down to like 3 weeks until this exam, so I'm tweaking just a little bit. Like I feel pretty ready, but I don't know if I feel completely ready. You know. So we'll keep rolling. All right, so now delta. We want to get their images. Okay, scribe pods. One of the things I'm most excited for when I go to Wisconsin is I'm finally going to get my my jet skis wrap taken off because I have this 89 Kawasaki stand-up. I think it's such a piece of junk. But I'm going to take the wrap off and hope that there's some sort of paint underneath it. Grab for image. C10. Ooh. Let's do C5. All right, cool. So image, KodeKloud. Okay, so simple web. Simple web app 1 has this image, so we're going to once again fire open our notepad. Boom. Go over here. So that's going to be 1. 2 has this alpine image. So we're going to paste that there. And 3 has Nginx 116. So same thing. And HTTPD. Hey, that's the image I use for some of my projects. Which I should probably change because it's not super secure, the Apache images, but it's like the easiest thing I could do to get like a super simple web app up. So I just I did it. And now I'm kind of regretting my choices, but to check these for vulnerabilities, we do trivy image, and then we feed it a image name. So like for our first web app here, we're going to give it this image. And then we are going to do severity. I don't know. I don't think severity is capitalized. Severity critical, right? Yeah, critical. And then we press go, and it should start scanning stuff. All right. So 1, this had 4, 2. Same thing. This one has 0. Okay, so I'll just leave that one blank. Number 3. Weird. That image, that scan failed. It's weird. Like I didn't even get up that early today. I'm just tired. All right, so that's good. 40. 40. And last but not least. So 18. So the only one we want to keep is our web app 2 with the Alpine image, because it's the only one that didn't have critical vulnerabilities. So delete dash namespace delta simple pod simple web app 1 simple web app 3 and simple web app 4. All right. Cool. So that question's answered. Let's go to the next one. This one says, create a new pod called audit nginx in a default namespace using the nginx image. Secure the syscalls with this pod by using the audit.json seccomp profile in the pod security context. Audit.json is in the root CKS directory. Make sure to move it under the profiles directory inside the default seccomp directory before creating the pod. So now what we do is we just do a quick move to CKS. Please remember how to type. Audit.json, and we want it to be in, I think it's var kubelet. Oh geez. What's the path for seccomp? Oh, it's varlib. Seccomp profiles. All right, so that profile is moved now. Very nice. Again, if y'all have any questions, by all means, ask away. Kind of just rambling, like thinking out loud. So if anyone just is like playing this back in the future, they can listen. I just almost knocked over my space heater with my foot, by the way. Don't know if y'all need to know that. All right. So now we need to make the pod. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back over here, make sure we're in the right version because that matters. And we're just going to grab our manifest here, copy it. Then we're going to go into a file called 4.yaml, paste it. We don't really need labels, so we're going to get rid of those. Going to name it audit nginx. We don't need these because we don't. We want to use nginx as the image, so nginx and seccomp profiles audit.json. All right, so that looks good. Yeah, okay, so that should be good. We can just go ahead and apply this. Dash namespace. Oh, default, okay. Not what I wanted. So, get pods. And our audit.nginx profile is running, which means our seccomp profile is applied, and we're good to go. So that's question 4 done. Let's move on to question 5. All right, this one says the CIS benchmark report for the controller manager and scheduler is available at the tab called CIS Report 1. Inspect this report and fix the issues reported as failures. Cool. All right, so easy enough. We're going to go over to our report. We're just going to see what failed. We don't really care about like this one. That's etcd, so we don't need to do anything there. These are the ones we have to worry about. 132 and 141. So like 132, well, okay. It'll give you like descriptions on how to fix them, but these are pretty. So we just have to edit the YAML files for the controller manager and the scheduler to include these. So I'm going to go nano into etc, Kubernetes, manifests. We'll do the scheduler first. Cube scheduler. Let's add this real quick. Boom. Oh, what did that do? Nothing. We're good. Profiling equals false. Equals false. Let's copy this, and we can do yes. Now we can do the scheduler and the controller. Controller manager. Same thing here. Pick your favorite spot in the list of arguments and set profiling to false. All right, and then we can do kubectl get pods namespace kube system. I just want to make sure that they're up and running. So controller manager is good, and the scheduler is good. So, and you can see they both restarted here based off the age column. So those are good. And this should be good. Question 6. Ooh, I can tell by the amount of text this one wants Falco. All right, there's something suspicious happening with one of the pods running an HTTPD image in this cluster. The Falco service shows frequent alerts that start with file below a known directory or below a known binary directory open for writing. So this is important. I'm going to copy it. And we need to change the rule that's spitting that output to this, and then we need to set file logging. So not the worst thing, but like the first step is you have to go into the logs for Falco. And actually, we're gonna wait. That actually doesn't help us at all. Hold on. Go into the Falco directory and find that rule. So like etc Falco cat Falco rules.yaml, and then we're gonna look for this. Not what I wanted, but I'll change it. Okay. Now we're going to give ourselves some more output with the -c command, and we're just going to say like 20 or so. That should be fine. So here's our rule. I'm going to copy it, and we're going to go into the Falco rules.local.yaml. Welcome in. I had 5 viewers for a second. That's more viewers than I've had like ever. Nice. My name is Tyler. I am a cloud operations engineer. I am 20 years old. I did not go to college. If you have any questions on like certifications or career stuff, ask away. I am always happy to answer them. I don't know if we need that. I don't think we do. All right, so now let's get rid of Control K and Control K. And we want this output, so we're going to paste it here. We're not quite done with that yet, but we're almost done. And then we're also going to change this to critical. So now we have to go and find the Falco docs. Falco. First one we need is the user ID. So user ID. User.uid. Yep. So we do user ID equals user. I don't remember if I referenced the first one or the second one with a parenthesis, honestly. I think, yeah, okay. Yeah, I see. So those are good. I think user UID, yep. So next one, we need the file updated. So we're just gonna search for file. All right, so I think it's FD file name. That seems like a really good guess based on what the question was asking. I remember that one that doesn't have a good like descriptor in the documentation, or like at least it's a little bit confusing to understand. So now we need to look at the command that was run in the logs too. So I think it's something like, oh geez, it's something with like proc. think it's proc.exe. Typically executable syscall. We're gonna guess that it's proc.exe because that sounds correct, and I don't remember exactly what the value I'm looking for is. So that looks good. File name, critical. All right, cool. So I think that is fine. So now we go nano falco.yaml. Because now we actually need to turn on file logging. So we scroll down here, we look for file output. That's what we want. We want true. And we want them to be sent to this. Boom. And that should be it. So we can hit it with a restart. System CTO, restart, Falco.service. Ooh, that's not good. That means I broke my Falco configuration. So what on earth did I do? Let's see if I can dig myself out of this hole. File output is true. It has a file. Let's see if this exists. Okay, and rules content right below. Let's see. Not what I wanted. Oh, that too. I think. If you guys see anything obvious, please let me know, because equals percent highly critical. Do you guys see anything that like? Okay, as people were in the room with me, I found my issue. This is supposed to be a period, not an underscore. So user ID. Okay, so that should actually fix it. So system CTO. Okay, so it's active now, so we can do cat opt security instance. All right, so it is building things. User equals root, user login, command. Okay, so that one is done. On to the next one. All right, so in this question, we want to set up a runtime class. So use our favorite docs page. And all we need is this. So, okay, get pod, namespace, pod. How about YAML? Send it to test. Test. All right, the only thing we need to add is this. Again, like always, we remove all the garbage we don't need. And then we need to give it a runtime class named gbrowser. Cool. Wipe out all the status stuff because, again, we don't need it. The pod namespace production KodeKloud-f test.yaml. All right, oops, now pods namespace prod. Cool. All right, that one's done. So I think this is the broken question. Yeah, so I can't do this question, but what you would have to do, I'm actually going to stop sharing and actually just talk because I like talking. So what you would actually do is you would take your, what are the names of these things? You take your admission controller and like you set it up so it's pointing to a different kube config file so it understands what it's talking to, and then you take that file and you put it in the Cube API server configuration, and then you would set it. Would you set it for? Actually, double check this here. Yeah, you would set image policy webhook as a admission controller, and then as long as those like volumes are mounted and you have those volume mounts set up, it should see it. Again, I don't remember if this is the one or if it's in another practice test. Which one's broken? So like actually let me share again, and we'll grade the test without doing that last issue there. So I'm gonna create an infinite loop here for a second. Actually, I'm not. Hold on. Okay. So now let's actually just grade our test and see how we did and see what I messed up, because I'm sure I'm not perfect. So I'm sure there's some little like thing that I didn't remember to do. We'll see. Again, I didn't do the last question because if I'm not mistaken, it grades it wrong. Are you kidding me? I guarantee it's one of these little things I said. User ID, FD name. So I can actually fix this really quick, and I'm going to. So nano, Falco, rules, stop local. It's because I had my file. That's so irritating. I had this set as FD file name, and it was supposed to just be FD name. So, and then process command line. That's correct. So system CTL. Let me get rid of this. Restart Falco. System CTL status Falco. Cool. All right, so I'm gonna grade it again here. Let's see how we did. That was such a silly little thing. I hate it when I do stuff like that. All right, so as expected, got the last question wrong, but 85% really isn't bad. In reality, is probably closer to, I don't know, like an 80% because I did mess up that one Falco attribute, but that's okay. It's so hard to tell where my actual cursor is. Hold on. There it is. Okay. So sweet. I'll stay on for a bit longer, just in case we want to do Q&A. But there's not enough people on here to really like do it. So yeah, better I'll just yap for a while. I don't have any good yapping topics. I should redo my setup in here. I really don't have a good background, like at all. But I'm also like too cheap to like go and like spend a bunch of money to decorate and do all that stuff. Here's a cool little fun fact. So on Raspberry Pi Picos, that's really hard. It's not focusing. Ew, my fingernails look gross. On Raspberry Pi Picos, you see that little copper wire? If you stick a copper wire, focus. Okay, it doesn't want to focus. But if you stick a copper wire right here, it makes it so when you plug it into a laptop, it doesn't register it as a USB. So neat little fun fact there for all of your Pico Ducky adventures. That's another video I really need to make. Which one is it? I made a few Pico Duckies, and I wanted to make a kind of like how-to on it for 2024. So we'll see. Lots of videos that I just haven't gotten around to making. But this one is especially dangerous. Like I had to label it because it actually does do malicious things. I'm not gonna like use it for malicious things, but it does do malicious things. So that's a fun one. Like it's one of those projects where I'm kind of proud of it. It's a cool project, but it's not something that I want to teach the internet how to do. It's not like super complicated. So like if you wanted to, you could figure it out. But I don't know if I want to be liable for explicitly teaching that. Check this out. Oh, I just nuked my monitor. Good lord. Love that. I'm just kidding. Don't check that out. If you can see it. I engraved my laptop. So like you can kind of see it in the light here. It's all engraved, and I did that actually all by hand. So it took many hours to get done, but it's pretty cool. I also did it to my phone. I think I was sharing this last stream too, but we'll share it again. It's the back of my phone's all engraved in the sides and stuff. Kind of neat. I don't know. I like to engrave like everything I own. Yeah. I don't know. I also need to like find a place to like write down my goals and stuff. Because this is the whiteboard I use to write down goals, but it's not very useful anymore. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna post this live stream or not. It's like really nothing happened. So like if there's a way I could remove it from like my main feed and just have it in like a live stream playlist, that honestly would be preferable, because I do like having these archived live streams, but I don't necessarily want it to be the first thing that people see when they come to my channel. So but yeah, we did a practice test. We did well on it. So maybe I'll keep studying tonight. I probably won't, honestly. I need to go to the gym, but I'm not feeling super motivated today. I also told myself I'd do a little one of like these videos where I like draw and it does like the time lapse thing, which was actually my latest video. Audio was horrible, awful on it, but it's still kind of fun to make. Just might do that. Oh, what's up, Tim? You're the first message in like an hour. I was straight talking to myself for a minute there, but welcome. What's going on? You work in IT? Or anywhere in the technology sector? Or looking to get into the technology sector? This show comes over well. No. What do y'all think of the CEH exam? I was thinking of doing it, but the company has such a bad reputation from like what I've read online that I'm a little bit hesitant, you know? It's like it is well known, which is like obviously a plus. Who's yelling upstairs? It is well known, so that's an upside, but at the same time, I want to get a certification that's respected in the industry, and if some of the things I'm reading online are not respectful, I guess like towards the organization that puts out the cert, then I don't know if I actually want to go for it. I like the idea of the CISSP, but I just know it's straying so far from my existing technical knowledge, and I don't know if I'm going to have like a more bridged cert between like cloud and security, because my next cert will be security focused. Trying to got some responses from interviews. That's good. Here from Germany. Welcome. The biggest recommendation I have, so for job interviews, one way to really make yourself stand out is there's a couple things you can do. So the first thing that I'm a huge fan of is make a project. So like depending on the job, it might be different. But like for me, like I'm a cloud engineer, and I landed my job because in the interview, well, not because, but like I'm sure it helped. I showed up with a project, and they really, really like that. It shows some initiative. It shows willingness to learn. And it shows you're willing to like spend some time outside of work learning something, which kind of segues to the next point, which is if there's two, especially if it's your first IT job, focus extremely heavily on willingness and excitement to learn and kind of show off like work ethic. So get excited about your certifications, ask questions, just like be like eccentric. It sounds like weird to show up to an interview like super like excited and not like my name is Tyler May. I would like to be a cloud engineer versus like, like being excited and like sharing all sorts of stuff. I think it just helps it helps show that you're an employee that can be taught, that maybe you might not know everything now, but you're able to learn and grow in your role, which is a skill that seems to be lacking in the job market because all three of the IT jobs I've landed have actually, I kind of blame them on my ability to show that excitement to learn and to show that work ethic. Because for all three IT jobs I've landed since high school, that's like a help desk job, an audiovisual technician, and now a cloud engineering job, I was underqualified on paper. CH is great, honestly, in terms of what you learn. It's vast, but CISP is great too. That's the thing. Like they're both pretty vast, but I'm really not sure. Like the CISA too seems like a good option, but it's just I don't know. It's hard for me to decide too, because I know after I get this next certification, I'm actually going to go back to the AWS track and either do the solutions architect professional or the security specialist, because with Amazon, if you don't renew your certifications, so like when it comes time to renew it, like I have time on mine, I'll actually check here when it's actually due. When you have to renew your certification, you have to take the test again. And I don't want to take a test for a certification I've already gotten. So as long as I can get through my next certification in like 6 months, it'll give me like a full year to get through whatever the next Amazon certification I'm doing is. All right, so Tim responded, I accomplished many projects, included descriptions for them in my CV. Got invited for a trial day as a cloud engineer in Germany and focused with CDK. Haven't worked with CDKs that much, but that's awesome. Like you got to like come and like shadow. Like that's super exciting. But yeah, I mean like I love like including some like projects on resumes. I think having a LinkedIn page full of projects is awesome. Like if you guys look at actually I won't screen share, but if you guys look at my LinkedIn page, there's a lot of posts about projects, because you can kind of treat your LinkedIn as like almost like a secondary resume where someone's gonna go look and say who's this Tim guy, and when they see a bunch of your posts are things like, oh well, he spent some time today and he learned how to use Wireshark, or he spent some time today and he built a little 2-switch network. Sweet, I like that. He went out, he learned something, he got excited, and he posted about it online. That's huge. Yeah. I still feel like in the future I would really enjoy tech sales, because like I have that sales gene in me where I like selling a solution to somebody. But I feel like being like in an engineering role first, like I also really like the technical stuff, don't get me wrong. But I also really like the people aspect. So if I could like blend those two with sales engineering, I think that'd be super fun as well. And then also having like the engineering experience, I feel like I could really draw some parallels and really be good at sales. But that's for down the road. Oh, which cert am I aiming for next? So I am aiming for my CKS, which is the Certified Kubernetes Administrator, actually. I tilt this up, you can see all of them. But I'm shooting for my Certified Kubernetes Administrator. No, not Administrator. Security Specialist, which is, it's like the hardest Kubernetes certification. There's only 3, though, so it really doesn't go, there's not like that much competition. But yeah, so a few weeks away from that. The test is scheduled, so a little bit nervous, which is why I did this like live stream to study today. But yeah, this is my list of certs. I have my solutions architect, cloud practitioner, CCNA, network plus, and then names, certified Kubernetes administrator. So yeah, this will be number 6. So a little bit nervous. Oh, I was gonna check when my time expired. October 28th, 2026 is when I have to have my next AWS cert done by. But I'm also like really worried because I can't get into my AWS like certification portal. They changed the way you log in, and I'm pretty sure my account with my certs on it is hopefully not gone, but I don't know. So like actually I'm gonna try to log in. AWS skill builders. Yeah, so like I had 2 skill builder accounts. One was my original one, which was tied to my personal like Amazon like shopping account, which is what my certifications were registered under. And then I also have this other skill builder account, which was tied to my email address, which my original account was also tied to that email address. And last time I tried, I couldn't get into the account I needed to access my certifications because they've removed the ability to log in with Amazon. So I've been ignoring it, but I'm really, really worried about that, I'll be honest. Because like if I lost that account, then that means I effectively didn't lose my associate, but like I can't access it, then that's an issue. So I'm gonna try to sign in here. I don't know what my password is. I'll take a guess. X3N. That wasn't my password. That was the like captcha thing. Don't worry, I'm not leaking my passwords on. Let me do password resets real quick. All right, bear with me. Past solutions architect. Is that is it the associate or the professional that you passed? I've only done the associate, but the associate was brutal. Like there was a lot of like intricacies with that exam, and I know the professional will be more difficult, and I'm sure the security specialist is even more difficult than that. But that's okay. So skill builder. So yeah, and use Sorry, I'm getting signed in to see if I nuked my access to Skill Builder, which would be like bad. I would be really upset if I can't get into my account. And Lord knows AWS support is not the most helpful. Feel that. All right, my head's gonna be like down for a minute. Let's try. Why is my password invalid? Excuse me? There. Solutions Architect Associate, yeah. That is not a not an easy one. Save. All right, I'm trying to log in now, and I'm gonna see if I can't access this. Man, I hope so. You're in a cloud job. So yeah, I am in a cloud role. So I am a cloud operations engineer. So sorry, I'm being distracted. Why? What? I wonder if they changed their site. Sorry. Yes, I am a cloud engineer, cloud operations engineer. So a lot of my day is working with data. So I fix a lot of like database issues. I do a lot of database migrations. Sometimes like infrastructure changes, like not like super crazy stuff. Like I did. I guess that's still databases. I didn't really migrate the server. I helped out when our company moved everything from on-prem into Azure Azure unmanaged SQL servers on Azure. So yeah. And then like because I am like operations, like some days are busier than others. Like some days are like a lot. Like if a lot of stuff is breaking, then I have a very busy day. But like sometimes like a lot of things just work, and I'm not having to put out fires every second of the day. So a little bit of both. Okay, so it's through cert metrics. So I'm in cert metrics, profile, exam history. Oh my god. That's not good. That's not good. That's That scares me a lot, if I'm honest. I can't access it. Let me see what email it's tied to. AWS. Gmail. Certification. Oh, okay. So it's tied to this email. I'm gonna try to sign in again. If I lost my certifications, I'm gonna be so upset. This will probably be the last thing I do on this live. So. Oh, jeez, what was my password? Oh, I'm like locking myself out. I have to put in a code now. Oh, that's good. Oh, okay. That worked. Please. This is like my last hope of like accessing these. So update address. Exam history. Oh my god, guys. I got in. Oh, you guys have no idea how worried I was about that. Okay, so I can still access my certifications. Good. So, very good. Very good. All right, well, on that note, I think I might end it off here. As always, thank you guys for watching. I probably won't have much stuff out next week just because I'll be out of town. So maybe you'll see some like fun little like shorts or something from me, but I'm not really sure. But with that, I will end it off here. Thank you guys for watching.